Brief Captain here. Today, I'll tell you about the cartoon Road Home. Like if you like our videos. The Australian National Zoo is full of different animals. There are dangerous and scary overweight crocodiles, deadly snakes, and even very cute koalas. For example, the star of the zoo koala named Cutie, who is adored by everyone and watched by children on the internet 24/7. One day, a creepy crocodile named Jackie scared one of the zoo visitors, for which she was grabbed and thrown down to the other monsters, but Jackie just got into character. In fact, she is a very good-natured fat girl who loves her neighbors, who have become her family. In the neighboring terrarium with Jackie live no less creepy creatures, such as the insecure modest scorpion Nigel, the eternally preoccupied spider Frank, as well as the smart and brave lizard Zoe. They recently got a new neighbor, a charming snake named Maddie. She is a kind, sensitive, and optimistic person. However, Maddie does not yet suspect that in this zoo, animals that are scary from a human point of view serve to intimidate visitors. There's even a special show created for this, hosted by the notorious brave man Chaz Hunt and his son Chezzy. Chaz was the first person Maddie saw when she hatched from her egg. She was carried away by a stream of water, and Chaz found her in the desert. She's sure he loves her because Chaz calls her beautiful and smart. But when he shows Maddie to the public, he starts saying nasty things about her. She really is a cold-blooded killer. For example, that her poison is extremely deadly, and that she herself is a creature of horror. The audience begins to scream and hide from Maddie, and she so dreamed of being liked by them. When the performance was over, Chaz unceremoniously shoved poor Maddie into a box and ordered her to be taken out of sight. In the evening, Jackie tries to calm Maddie down and tells her about the place where she comes from. These are Red Mountains, where there are many creepy creatures like them, and everyone lives together and happily, like one big family. The usual everyday life of the zoo begins. Visitors come to admire the furry creatures, including the koala bear, and to be scared by scary creatures like snakes and spiders. But the routine is disrupted when little boy Chess falls into the crocodile's enclosure. Jackie tries to help him, but zoo staff decide that the crocodile wants to eat the baby. She was put in a cage and taken away to an unknown location. Chaz Hunt has defeated many monsters in the wild. He has an impeccable reputation as a predator hunter, and Chezzy wants to be like him. But he was scared by the crocodile attack, and his father came in the evening to calm him down. Maddie doesn't like life at the zoo. Chaz disappointed and betrayed her. Visitors are afraid of her, and now Jackie has been taken away somewhere. So Maddie encourages her new friends to escape from here. Nigel faints from fear, and the resourceful and clever Zoe immediately figures out how they can get out of the terrarium. The four of them go through all the obstacles of the zoo until they find themselves in the Cutie's enclosure. This nasty furry-headed one wants to prevent them from escaping. He starts making noise, and to calm him down, Nigel has to sting him with his poisonous sting. Once outside, they take the Cutie with them and set sail on the stolen nest. Along the way, a cheerful shark swims out to them, who used to worrying about being scary, but then accepted herself for who she is. She tells them that she is a member of a secret society of scary ones, which includes all the creepy creatures of the earth. And this community will help them if you say a secret phrase. After discovering the loss, Chess wanted to call the Animal Control Service, but his son insisted that he catch the fugitives himself. The camera captured the Cutie after being poisoned by scorpion venom, and the zoo workers decided that he was now sick and dangerous to others. He also needs to be caught. Having dropped the fugitives off at the city, the shark pointed them in the direction and swam away. Cutie tried to get rid of his new acquaintances, but finding himself among people, he encountered aggression and fear. Passers-by pounced on him, thinking he was sick, and the Cutie had to run away as fast as he could. When their team reunited, they were surrounded by angry people. The fugitives remembered the secret phrase of the scary community, and they were evacuated to the sewers by spiders. Hordes of outcast arachnids followed them to the sewers, and the whole gang was washed away to another part of the city. When they came to the surface again, Chess and his son appeared in front of them and tried to grab them. However, the friends managed to hide and confuse the couple, but not for long. They were spotted again when the Cutie was reminiscing about his old life in the middle of the street. This time, the fugitives escaped from the people on the bumper of a car. Chess was ready to give up the chase, but his son insisted that they go to the school that the car belongs to. Arriving at school, the friends hear a wonderful voice that belongs to a scary and disgusting toad. He, like his girlfriend, was put in cages to be used in biology lessons. Toads are very unhappy in captivity, so Maddie releases them, and they immediately start kissing passionately. In gratitude, they tell how to get to the mountains. You just need to get on a school bus that goes on an excursion to these mountains. The friends need to look for the girl with the blue bow. She is so similar to them because she also considers herself ugly. But the fugitives lose sight of her and get on the wrong bus. Resourceful Zoe comes to the rescue. They climb onto the roof of the right bus and go to the mountains where their relatives live. On the way, they realize that they don't really need to look for their family because they have become family for each other. Shay and Chezzy are on their trail. They catch up with the bus and Chez wants to just stop it, but his son insists on a crazy adventure. As a result, the friends hide from Chez's gunfire in the bus, where all the children pounce on them and try to kill them. Only one girl with a blue bow sympathizes with them and hides them in her backpack because she understands what it means to be different. When Chez gets on the bus, the girl lets her friends go free. Meanwhile, Chez throws the immobilized Cutie out the window and he falls to the bottom of the ravine. Maddie and her friends go there too. Shay already thought that he and his son had lost the animals, but then Shay fell into the gorge and found them. He even managed to catch the fugitives, but then the Cutie named the secret password of the scary community and the Tasmanian devils appeared. They gave Shay some goods and he began to beg his son to throw him a rope. Once he got to the top, he explained that he wasn't a cool animal tamer. At school, he was just a nerd who was bullied by everyone, but then he saw a real tamer on TV and decided to copy his voice and mannerisms. That's how this mustachioed guy Chezzy idolized appeared. After telling his son all this, Chez realized that he had to become the brave man he had been pretending to be all these years. He would do it for the boy, but he would need backup. So Chez and Chezzy went to a biker bar and asked the tough guys for help. The Tasmanian devils handed the fugitives over to other agents of the scary community, and they escorted them to the next location and handed them over to new agents. So the friends reached the forest where the koalas live. On the way, Maddie and the Cutie became close, but when he saw his relatives, he forgot about everything and climbed up their tree. The others went on. As they approached the mountains, dozens of spiders, lizards, snakes, and scorpions came out to meet them. But noticing the pursuit, they all hid. Chez and his army of bikers caught up with the fugitives at the foot of the mountains and captured first Zoe, Nigel and Frank, and then Maddie. Before this, Maddie was alone with Chezzy, and the boy realized that the snake was afraid of him as much as he was afraid of her. Chezzy tried to tell his father about this, but he didn't want to listen because he was overwhelmed by a feeling of danger and permissiveness. So when he and Chez were leaving, the boy took pity on Maddie and threw her terrarium off the car. Maddie tried to catch up with the car and save her friends, but she couldn't. Then she called her relatives for help, but they refused to come down from the mountains. But Cutie returned to her. He got tired of the koala's empty chatter and decided to follow Maddie. Cutie and Maddie snuck into the fire station where the koala had been before. Here he was taught how to drive a fire truck. He stole it. Seeing the car in the rearview mirror, driven by a koala, Chez was stunned, but quickly pulled himself together and fought off the pursuers. Meanwhile, Maddie went up the fire escape to save her friends, and everything would have worked out if Cutie hadn't come to her, leaving the car without a driver. Seeing Maddie, Zoe found a way to break the glass using Nigel's screen, and they got out. At this point, Maddie and Sweetie had already taken the bike from one of the people. Nigel, Frank, and Zoe got into the sidecar. Seeing this, Chez started to hit them with a bazooka, and then their relatives came to the aid of their friends. They did it. They defeated the bikers, and then Chez and his son. However, the out-of-control fire truck they all found themselves in fell off the cliff. The two humans and the zoo escapees were left stranded on the edge of a ladder, and the animals showed courage and selflessness in saving baby Chezzy. Maddie even shed her skin in the process. Afterwards, she and Chez became friends again. Moreover, Chez even hugged them all. When it was all over, the friends found out that the leader of the secret society of scary ones is Jackie. She had been watching over them all this time, especially after she escaped from the cage. Their whole big family went to the mountains, where they would live happily ever after.